We're often told that creativity just happens, that it just strikes us out of the blue, almost by magic. One day, inspiration appears out of nowhere when you aren't doing anything, taps you on the shoulder, and delivers you your next great idea. It's a comforting story, but reality doesn't always work that way. Creativity starts to develop when you show up consistently and make space for it in your life. The more you practice, the more ideas begin to flow. It's something you make room for. You have to invite it in. It lives in the quiet spaces of your life, places that we usually fill with disturbances like notifications or distractions. I'd wait for ideas to come when I felt ready, but they never really did. I hadn't put myself in a state ready to receive ideas or give them anywhere solid to land. So I changed my approach. I began treating creativity like a muscle that needed exercise, not waiting around for something to happen, but acting on it. The first step I took was simple. I left. I just packed my van and started driving. There was a simplicity to being on the road. The steady rhythm of tires and the endless horizon began to untangle my thoughts. With each mile, more of the turbulence that had built up in my mind over the years decreased. Somewhere in those long drives and unfamiliar places, I realized what I'd been missing. It was the quiet and openness that allowed my ideas to finally take shape. I didn't realize how much restless energy I was carrying around until I finally slowed down. The road had given me space, but meditation showed me what to do with it. Even when I was in a different place, I could feel that restless energy buzzing inside me. Projects piled up, and deadlines circled in the back of my mind. Juggling full-time school and making videos sometimes felt overwhelming. One moment, I'd be editing for hours, the next, buried in assignments or client work. Sometimes, if I'm not careful, I still feel that way. It all began to blur together. It's easy to lose yourself in the chaos of projects that you're involved with. To break yourself out of it takes focus and direction. Meditation became the one practice that could cut through the mental fog. I started with a small goal, just 10 minutes a day. Now I do 20 minutes a day, and it's a lot easier than it used to be. It's important to eliminate distractions and just focus on your breath. Some days, even sitting still for 20 minutes can feel like I'm climbing a mountain. But that's when I need it most. It wasn't easy at first. My mind kept jumping from one task to the next. What I needed to film, unanswered emails, papers due next week. But gradually, something started to change. The space between my thoughts and the things I needed to complete grew wider. In that stillness, everything becomes clear. You can see everything that you need to do. It was as if my mind was releasing all the tension and pressure I was putting on myself. I could finally see what really mattered, compared to what was just taking up space. I felt my energy return. I could move ahead with more focus, no longer overwhelmed by everything on my plate. Whenever I'm busy, meditation helps to keep me grounded. It's where I reset and recharge. Those 20 minutes have sparked more ideas than I can count over the years. They pull me out of the chaos and bring me clarity. It's like hitting pause just long enough to remember why I started creating in the first place. It's too easy to get caught up in things that happen during the day, and this puts everything into perspective. Creativity doesn't come from effort alone. It comes from alignment, from being present long enough to notice what wants to be created through you. Sometimes after meditating, I'll open my notebook and the words just start to flow. The words don't have to be forced or perfect. Just allow them to come as they are. That's the part of meditation that's not talked about a lot. It clears enough mental space for creativity to move freely again. To be creative, you have to be in a state of flow. And I really think that meditation helps you get there. Meditation prepares my mind to recognize ideas as they appear, and to trust them enough to bring them to life. It's a great way to train my mind to find calm within, so I can create from a place that has the energy that I want to bring into the world. In that state, creativity doesn't have to compete for space. It arrives easily for me, like it was just there all the time, waiting for me to sit still long enough to listen. If you want to try this for yourself, set a simple timer on your phone and find a peaceful spot where you won't be disturbed for 10 minutes. The idea is to focus on your breath and keep returning to it. Turn off all notifications and consider using a blindfold to help you focus. After meditation, my mind usually feels clear. It's like watching a glass of murky water settle. The longer you wait, the clearer it becomes. That's when I reach for my journal, ready to capture whatever rises to the surface. There's something about the act of writing by hand that connects me more deeply to my thoughts. Typing on a computer feels mechanical, but writing with a pen makes me feel way more connected to the experience. It allows yourself permission to not have to be perfect. I allow my thoughts to flow naturally, accepting whatever comes up without judgment. Most of the time, I don't write anything amazing. I just begin with whatever's on my mind. How the day has gone, what's been bothering me, or how I'm feeling. But the simple act of showing up, of putting words down on paper, unlocks something within me. It's kind of like priming a pump. Once the first thoughts spill out, the rest begin to flow. Before I know it, I'm uncovering all the ideas that were buried underneath the mental distractions. With consistency, journaling becomes really insightful. It shows patterns, the things I avoid, the habits that drain me, the moments that repeat until I learn from them. Creatively, it's where my best ideas begin to take form. Entire video concepts have appeared in the middle of sentences that I never planned to write. That's what always surprises me. How something that starts as a personal reflection can be transformed into an idea that I can share with the world. The more I write, the more I notice connections between what I'm learning in school, what I'm feeling in nature, and what I'm creating in my videos. Journaling keeps me grounded in all of it. It bridges my inner and outer worlds, taking what I've learned from meditation and giving it a place to live, to evolve, and become something real. When I travel, my journal becomes a kind of anchor. In every new place, I make time to write. This practice brings a sense of clarity and helps me notice the details that I might otherwise miss. Journaling helps me gain confidence and clarity about my next steps. It makes it easier to move forward with purpose. And I think that's the real value of journaling. It trains me to pay attention, to notice what's already there just beneath the surface. When I take time to write, I start to realize that creativity isn't always found in the big moments. It's found in the small details that I sometimes overlook. If you want to try journaling, just grab a good pen and a notebook. Set a timer for 10 minutes and let yourself write freely. You can experiment with prompts, but I usually stick with free writing to see where my thoughts go. Whenever my mind starts to feel cluttered, I like to head outside for a walk. I leave my headphones behind and skip the music. Instead, I focus on the rhythm of my footsteps and the gentle pull of gravity that goes with each step. Walking is simple, but it's become one of my most powerful ways to reset. I silence my phone, step outside, and allow myself to just disconnect from everything. Even just 30 minutes helps. There's something about walking with no destination that quiets the constant urgency of modern life's rhythms. It's like an environmental mismatch. Back when we were hunter-gatherers, we had to be on edge a lot more. But we don't need that now. Sometimes I keep my notes app open just in case inspiration strikes me, but most of the time, I just walk, letting thoughts drift and flow through my mind, instead of trying to control or contain them. At first, my thoughts are scattered. My mind jumps from editing projects, to looming deadlines, to emails that I've forgotten to send. But as the minutes pass, clarity increases, and I find a calming rhythm to fall into. Gradually, I start to notice things again, and details come into focus. In those quiet, ordinary moments, inspiration begins to take shape as a gradual unfolding. Ideas that were buried under all the clutter begin to surface, sometimes fully formed, but often just fragments and pieces for me to sort out, but always better than before I started. Walking has become a meditation in motion for me. It bridges the gap between my inner world and my outer one, connecting everything I've been thinking about with what I'm actually seeing and feeling. When I'm on the road, these walks feel even more powerful. New places bring fresh perspectives. There's something special about being immersed in unfamiliar streets or trails that spark my imagination. Each step invites me to notice more, to become part of the landscape instead of just passing through it. Even in cold weather, I make time for these walks. The initial discomfort increases my awareness. A lot of my creative breakthroughs have happened while walking. It's where I return to creative flow, where ideas return after stretches of distraction. That's the beauty of it. Creativity can't be forced. You just have to create enough space for it to catch up with you. If you want to try it, put your phone on silent, step outside, set a timer, and start moving. You'd be amazed at the ideas that might come up for you on your walks with the right intention. Lifting weights and running have become just as important to my creativity as meditation and journaling. This part of my routine keeps me physically and mentally strong so that I can have the stamina to create. I don't train every day, but I stay consistent. 3 times a week, I lift weights, push, pull, and legs. Full body workout. At the end of each session when I'm tired, I finish with a 10-minute run. That short run clears my head in a way that nothing else does. By the time I'm done, I feel lighter, more focused, and ready for whatever's next. It's not the most extensive workout plan, but it's great to do if you're short on time. When I'm on the road, I work out at Planet Fitness. The affordable membership at less than $30 a month makes it an easy choice. They also have showers, which means I can finish my workout and leave feeling refreshed and ready for the day. The discipline that gets me through a tough set in the gym is the same discipline that keeps me working on a creative idea when it feels stuck. Working out helps me focus just as much as it helps my fitness. The routine itself becomes its own form of meditation. When I walk out of the gym, I carry that energy with me. My thoughts and mood are better. my creative flow lasts long after the session ends. Balancing school, content creation, and everything else in my life means I don't have time to train 5 or 6 days a week, and that's okay. 3 sessions are my absolute minimum for building some kind of strength and endurance. They keep me grounded and prepared for whatever comes my way, both inside and outside in the field. If you're starting a new routine, just know that the first few weeks are the hardest. You'll be sore, tired, and might wonder if it's even worth it. But once your body adjusts, somewhere around the 4 to 6 week mark, you start to feel the change. You move easier. You think more clearly. You start craving the momentum that you've built for yourself. Training like this builds both strength and resilience. It is everything in creative work. Creativity, like training, isn't about waiting for the perfect conditions to start something. It's about showing up even when it's uncomfortable, trusting that consistency will carry you through. When my body is strong, my mind follows. When both are in alignment, that's when I do my best work. If you're interested in the routines that I do, let me know, and I can add that in the description below. In America, our culture often glorifies work, even turning it into something almost mythical. We celebrate all-nighters and the idea that running on fumes proves some kind of point or rite of passage. But when you operate at full speed non-stop, burnout is inevitable. No matter how passionate or driven you are, exhaustion always catches up with you. Sustainability is the real measure of creative success. It's about learning to pace yourself and resting before you crash. You want to create space for recovery within your workflow. The creative path is a patient cycle, not a sprint. There are times for action and times for stillness, doing absolutely nothing. I've discovered that my best ideas often arrive when I'm not busy and tired, but when I've gotten enough rest. They surface when my mind is quiet enough, where I really listen to what's trying to emerge. Rest may be the most overlooked part of the creative process. It's easy to stay up late, chasing one more idea, one more edit, one more piece of progress. But creativity grows when you give yourself plenty of time to replenish and recover, not when you push yourself until you're empty. When I'm disciplined about my sleep and recovery, I notice a huge difference. My focus sharpens, my body feels stronger, and I start the day in a creative flow instead of struggling to find it. But I'm not perfect. There are nights where I still stay up late editing a video or finishing a paper. Sometimes my schedule gets chaotic, but most of the time I make sleep a priority and get my 7 to 8 hours in. Without it, everything feels terrible. Even the things I love to do start to feel like a burden. When I'm rested, I feel lighter and more open to new ideas. My workouts are stronger, my ideas flow easier, and I'm more present in everything I do. We all need good sleep because it's the foundation that makes our work possible. Creativity doesn't come from forcing yourself to stay awake until something happens. It comes from being in the right state to receive it. Rest isn't laziness, it's preparation. And if you want your creativity to last for years, you have to protect your energy just as much as your ambition. Creativity doesn't build in isolation. It needs constant nourishment. Things like experiences and perspectives that broaden your view of the world. For me, immersion means reading books, visiting art museums, listening to music, or exploring unfamiliar subjects. Books are one of the most powerful ways to step into someone else's world. Through them, you learn how someone else thinks, feels, and creates. You can gain deep technical knowledge, explore new philosophies, or even see life through a completely different lens. When I'm not in school, I aim to read at least 1 book per month. Each book I read exposes me to new ways of thinking and helps me push past creative blocks. Even fiction can help spark new ideas. They show me that imagination thrives on possibility, not just reality. Visiting art museums has a similar effect. Whenever I walk through a museum, I feel surrounded by living history, the thoughts, emotions, and energy of those who came before us. Standing before a painting or sculpture, I can almost sense the artist's devotion, risk, and exploration. Art museums help me absorb new perspectives, even though I don't always fully understand what I see. They expand my awareness and help me reconnect with the roots of creativity. I try to visit one at least once a month. The total immersion in these places helps keep my creative spirit alive. It's how I continue to evolve, learn, and stay curious about things. Creativity is an ongoing lesson in learning how to receive inspiration. If you ever feel stuck, try immersing yourself in something new. Read about a world you've never explored. Walk through an art gallery. Listen to an album all the way through without skipping a track. The more that you expose yourself to new ideas and experiences, the more raw material that your creativity has to work with. And sometimes that one book, painting, or song is all it takes to unlock a completely new direction. Immersion expands your mind and prepares you for movement. Everything I practiced prepared me for travel in ways that I never expected. Travel goes beyond just simple changes in scenery. It transforms your entire perspective. When I first started living on the road, I believed that I was chasing freedom. But what I found was perspective. Each new environment brings its own unique energy. The culture, the people, the landscape, even the weather. It all begins to change the way that you think and feel. The rhythm of life changes with every new place. The thin air at higher elevations clears your head in one way, while the humid air near the coast grounds you in a totally different way. The way that light hits a desert canyon at sunrise feels entirely different from dusk in a dark forest. Travel forces you to adapt. You get to see how others live, work, and create, and you realize that there's no single right way to move through the world. Different cultures approach time, community, and creativity in so many different unique ways. Seeing that kind of variety expands your capacity for imagination. It opens up possibilities that you could have never seen from a single point of view. Exposure to so many new environments has taught me that creativity isn't separate from nature. It's part of it. Altitude, temperature, and terrain can shift your mind just as much as any book or practice. Sometimes it's the stillness of snow in the mountains that resets me. Other times it's just the motion of city streets. In those moments, creativity doesn't feel like work. It becomes instinct. Ideas move through you, rather than being forced out. Travel stripped away the distractions I'd built around what it means to be productive. It showed me that stillness and motion aren't opposites. They're partners. Every long drive and every new horizon became part of my creative rhythm. When I travel, I'm not just gathering footage or stories. I'm reconnecting with the world that inspires them. Each landscape feels like I'm entering a conversation, teaching me something new about patience, presence, and perspective. It's where I meet the clearest version of myself. Travel changed why I work. It reminded me that creativity isn't about control or perfection. It's about being open enough to fully experience life and express what it gives back to you. I didn't discover something new. I rediscovered the stillness, wonder, and creative spark that had always been waiting quietly within me. Creating became an act of gratitude, my way of honoring what it means to be alive. Creativity doesn't strike by chance. It arrives when you make room for it, when you slow down long enough to listen. By doing all of these things, I've realized that inspiration isn't something that you have to chase. It's playful and having fun. It's something that you receive, a gift that appears only when you're open enough to notice. The more space I create for stillness, play, and curiosity, the more naturally ideas flow through me. Everything I do becomes a part of that rhythm. Creativity grows within the space between effort and ease. The world reflects the energy that you bring into it. When your heart is open enough to see, your soul patient enough to feel, and your spirit courageous enough to express, creativity will never leave your side. It's always there, waiting for you to return. Now I want to hear from you. What helps you feel most creative? Let me know down in the comments below, and I'll engage with you there. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel for more van life, outdoor, and travel content. Before you head out, check out this next video right here to see how I redefined success and found what really matters. I'll see you over there.